Today we are going to learn how to detect and identify potential manipulators around you. Maybe somebody you know, maybe somebody you have seen one time and you are really wondering if that person is manipulative or not, and if that person could be a danger in your life or in the life of others or not. At the basic roots, I would say that a narcissist or a manipulator is before anything else, because it is not really about the things they say. You may say the same things but without the same intention, and the intention of a narcissist is always to get something out of you or out of the victim without giving back. And in my opinion, it all starts with the understanding that they basically grew up without something, or they lost something. Maybe they lost the love of their life, maybe they lost their job, maybe they lost the credit, the admiration people used to give to them, or they literally grew up without self-love, grew up without respect. They just lack something, basically. Now, the traditional response of somebody who is in a sense of lack for healing is to go to therapy, go to coaching, try to find meditation methods to heal themselves from the inside. The narcissist is basically doing the completely other way around, which is, no, there is no problem with me, the problem is only from other people, coming from other people. It is never me, never my fault, it's only their fault. And even if they try to put you in the victim position, in the end they feel like a victim quite often inside. Maybe not about the topics you can see from the outside, but maybe something happened to them in their life and they could not recover from it, or like they didn't want to open themselves enough to get the necessary help to recover, because it would have been forcing them to admit that they could be vulnerable, and some people just can't accept that a single minute. So they will keep trying to use somebody else as a cover. They will try to use your love, attention, what you provide for them, whatever it is, as a cover for what happened to them. And they will not want to admit that they have been feeling hurt, they have been feeling wounded, they have been feeling empty because they lost somebody, they lost something. They will just never say that. They will always presuppose, no, they are fine, but you have a problem and you should listen to them and you should do what they want you to do. In the end, you should just because it is serving their interest. And their interest is to cover up the emotional pain or the lack of emotions sometimes. When somebody has been repressing emotions for too long, they may be completely numb and not feel anything anymore, or it seems like they don't feel anything anymore, and they try to use you because it is too scary for them to face that void they may have inside themselves. And so they try to use your love, your admiration, whatever, to get a bit of that thing they can't have anymore by themselves. So the psychology of a manipulator usually is that they are so scared of not getting what they want out of you or out of any person they consider like a victim. They are so scared of not getting the admiration, love, money, whatever from other people, and they can't face the potential pain of losing what you provide for them. So if you give them your love, your support, and they didn't grow up with any sort of self-love, then they can't face just the beginning of the possibility of an idea of losing that you get away, you leave, and you never see them again. They can't imagine that a single second. If you do, they will have to find another victim right away, because they can't live with themselves, staying with their own void or their own lack of self-love for a minute. They can't stand that, so they need absolutely the admiration of another victim, or the love or the whatever of another victim, because it is too scary for them. So since it is so scary and so difficult for people like that to acknowledge they feel hurt or whatever, they will quite often, if not always, prefer to use manipulation and controlling behaviors to get what they want. Because in the back of their mind, it is like, well, if I ask, people can say no. And I can't stand people say no. So I have to control them so that they will do what I want and they will do what I need. some people who are in charge of big companies or even a country sometimes. I'm not going to mention any president's name, but I guess everyone has a beef against at least one president in every country throughout history. Basically, some people who are in charge of, who had the drive from the beginning to be in charge of many things, of many people. Not everyone, but some people who have had this drive of getting at the top to own something, to own a company, to own a country, whatever. Sometimes they had that drive because they were so wounded that they wanted to be into the ultimate level of control, which is running a company, a big company, which is running a country. Many of those people will never get there anyway. They may have the drive of getting at a position where they are in control of everything, of everyone, because that way they know they can get whatever they want out of others, and they can decide who stays there and who gets out, so that they keep only around them people who validate them, and they get away, make people go away if those people don't validate them, or they play sneaky games. Some people, like I have seen in some companies, they would play sneaky games to turn everybody else in the team, in the building, whatever, against the person who is not validating them. Same thing might happen if you were like in a relationship with a toxic person intimately, and you discovered the person was toxic and you now was a narcissist, and now you have been able to distance yourself. But then that person you were in a relationship with, that person now may try to turn all your friends or all the people you know against you. Because since he or she lost what you were providing, your love, your attention, your support, since the person lost what you were providing, now it's like they have to gain back. And they have to gain back. One strategy for those people sometimes is to turn everyone else against you, so that everyone else will take her stance or his stance. That is one of those maneuvers they do sometimes. But in the end, just remember, a manipulator, basically, no matter how confident, charismatic they appear from the outside, basically inside they just can't stand to not be seen or to not be validated for their authority, for their power, for their skills. They just can't stand that a single minute, and they will only stay around people who validate them, either verbally, through their actions, through their whatever, through their behaviors, through the papers they sign, whatever is the compromise. They will just keep trying to find situations unconsciously where they are validated as being the boss, as being above everybody else, or being at least in control. At least in control of one environment, of one group of people, which may be a family. Unfortunately, some people, parents in families, sometimes they are like that too. Always trying to stay into an environment where they control everyone and they control everybody around and everything that happens around. As a conclusion, how to first of all figure out if somebody around you right now may fit into that case, and how to know if you should get away from that person or not. Your feelings basically are your best asset here. All the repressed feelings you have will be your best asset. What I mean by that is, if you feel exhaustion, drained out, you feel tired every time you discuss with one specific person, you really feel like worn out, like burnout, like nothing anymore is of interest to you because after you have met that person, because you're so tired, that is a great signal you are facing a toxic person. Because between human beings, we are supposed to be more energized as we communicate with others. Some people who are introverts are actually just scared of the image they project, and they are scared of not being validated, so they try to control their image, and then they get tired because of that. It's a different case. But if you are usually somebody who gets energized by being around others, like any normal social animal that we are, then if there is one person with whom, whenever you talk to them or whenever they are around, either you have a sense that you need to escape, you need to get out, you need to get rid of them, you need to go, or you stay but you're completely brain empty after you have been talking with them. Basically, if that happens to you, it is because you have a fear, either a fear inside you of not being accepted, of not being loved, and you are suppressing the things you would really want to say to that person, because probably in the deep down you sense there is something wrong with that person or that relationship, and you are kind of numbing that, you're kind of suppressing those thoughts and those feelings because you don't want to lose maybe the affection, maybe the love of others, because if it is inside the group and it's only one person you want to get rid of, but if you get rid of that person, then other people may not like you anymore either, or like may be in trouble with you, whatever. So you may just not say anything to preserve the whole group dynamic, because being ostracized, being fired out of a group is a terrible fear for human beings. Being the social animals that we are always scared of being gotten rid of inside a group, to be pushed away from a group of people, whether it is your family, your group of friends, at your job, whatever it is. We are always scared of that, so we tend to repress, to suppress what we really think and what we really want to say, because we are scared of being pushed away. Or you just have massive anger built inside yourself because you would like to tell that person finally what you think of them, or that you would like to tell them that they hurt you, but you didn't have the guts so far to retell that out loud. And in that case, that repressed, suppressed anger may be the cause of your exhaustion, because maintaining, suppressing, repressing emotions, fear, anger, anything in between, is causing massive exhaustion for the brain, for your system, for your nervous system. It is draining. So if you sense any feeling like that happening only when you are around a specific person, or like if you get like almost like a desire to puke when you see somebody, definitely there is something wrong with that person. Maybe it comes more from them, maybe it is just a projection from you because you have met somebody similar who hurt you, but in that case it means the person who hurt you, there is still a conflict inside you that is not completely healed. In any case, something is still to fix, to help. You still need to help yourself from the inside in that context. If you want some guidance and if you want some help with that, I have prepared a method down below in the description on the first link, where you can have access to, first of all, a hypnotic track to help you get out any repressed feelings, emotional baggage linked with somebody who may have been manipulating you or who may have been hurting you in the past, making sure you get free from the inside, you get more at ease, at peace with yourself from the inside, and also how to detect manipulators more thoroughly, from their language, from what they say. How can you identify if a person is a manipulator or not? And how to reply, how to respond. I call that 12 phrases to defend against manipulators without losing your mind, on purpose, because it is the idea of speaking in the right way, telling the right things to the people who are toxic in your life, without having to be aggressive, to yell at them, because the more you yell at them, you try to prove them wrong, the more energy you give to them, and that is energy that you could have been using for way more productive things in your life, rather than arguing with somebody who just wants to validate themselves or just want gratification of their ego, and they don't even care that they get it from you or somebody else anyway. So the idea of this method is to learn how to develop your communication skills around that, being able to defend yourself, to shut down any person who tries to manipulate you, to put you in a box you just don't belong to, and to find this internal peace and freedom of knowing you're fine with yourself, you don't need those people, you will find more quality relationships in your life anyway if you need some. Those people, you can get rid of them immediately, you don't need them anymore, that's done. The method is down below. I hope I can help you with this, and I will see you soon in the next video.